Cool. Here we are. It's episode 5. What do you think, Tyne? He says, I didn't know we'd get this far. I'm excited. He continues to be really exciting and really fun. Today we're going to work on steering. So I've got through riding him around. We've kind of messed around. I've got walk, trot, lope on him. But right now, with him growing again and just being a 2-year-old, he's quite downhill. So he won't be able to probably see it too much with the saddle on, but I can tell you from his hip in the back here, you know, to his withers, he's quite downhill. So at this point, cruising around on him, I can feel that he's growing. You know, his weight has changed a little bit in the last couple days. And so I'm gonna back off on loping circles and trying to lope him around, and we're gonna start working just on steering and getting rhythm. We're probably gonna trot for a week or two. I might lope him a little bit here and there, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it until he can kind of settle out his balance and find his own rhythm. So today, we're gonna pull out an exercise that I use, whether I put the cones out or not. Depends on the day, depends on what's going on here. Today we've got space to put out the cones, and I'm gonna show you an exercise that I use on all my horses. It's on my YouTube channel, I believe. We can go back and look, but it's one of the very first videos about finding speed and balance and cadence on the circle. And this is an exercise that takes you away from loping circles and working on circles and just really teaches them to pack themselves, to be straight, to find their own rhythm. So we're gonna work on steering and finding his own rhythm, and we'll try to get him a little more balanced every day. And that's where we're at now. So enjoy, have fun. So let's do a little walkthrough here while we're still on the ground. You can see, I'll get out of your way here so you can see from the camera angle, I've put a square in the middle of the arena, and then I've put a larger square on the outside of it, okay? And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start here in the middle. We're gonna start inside the square, and we're gonna just decide, am I gonna work on the right turn or am I gonna work on the left turn? And when I exit this box, I'm gonna go to the right, okay? I'm gonna ride that horse down there, then I'm gonna pick up and I'm gonna draw him around, and I'm gonna lay that neck rein on as a signal. I'm gonna pull his nose around if I need to. We're gonna bring his body around that end cone. Then we're gonna let it coast back through. So I'm gonna walk down here. We're gonna bring that horse. We're gonna pick our hands up here. We're gonna look back at that box and bring that horse around this turn. Now I'm gonna let him coast back here through my square. When I exit the square, I'm gonna go to the next cone on the right. And I'm gonna continue this pattern until that horse really feels balanced. And it does two things. In my mind, every time I turn the corner here, I'm going to judge myself, my own balance, how I've picked up and steered that horse. I'm also going to judge his response to those cues. And because we can repeat it now, we can build a rhythm. One, his feet are gonna get really rhythmic. We're gonna settle into a rhythm. Two, he's gonna start to see a pattern because we're turning right, 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 right. We can do it 4 times, 8 times, 16 times, 32 times. You can do it 164 times if you want to, but it's repetitive, and you're gonna continue to repeat this time after time after time until you really get the feeling that that horse understands the rhythm you're putting in here. And you know, I find if we don't, make it rhythmic, you'll find that horse will run away on you. He says he doesn't really want to stand still, so we're going to sit here for a second. There you go. There you go. And he'll lick his lips there a little bit. You know, you can see all this baby stuff. He's starting to get an idea, like he knows what the plan is. You know, you just got to take your time, make sure that they don't get to thinking they know what the idea is, you know. Because already now, he begins to have that feeling that he knows what the program is, and he's going to move his feet, and he's going to get started, and he's trying to be willing and help me out here. And if I don't catch that little stuff right there, you know, next week, a week after, you know, 2-3 months from now, that's going to probably get away from you. You know, you're going to go get on that horse and he'll walk away, and it would have started here today. So a little stuff that you just got to keep your thumb on, because they'll think it's the right answer because they start to see a pattern. And it won't be the right answer, but he'll think he did it right if you don't catch him for it, you know. So just back him up a little bit, really slow. It's Friday, so we're not in a big hurry today. All right, once he feels relaxed, we'll walk him off. We'll walk this pattern a few times. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna go here in the square and let him relax a little bit. I'm gonna start to the right because I know already this colt's not quite as good to the right. So I'm gonna get to here, look up, draw that horse around, let him coast. I'm gonna send him back through this square. Now he needs to keep the same rhythm, but I'm not gonna hold on him too much. If he decides to trot here, I'm gonna let him go, but then I'm gonna catch him here and make him steer, and I'm gonna use the steering at those end cones as my speed control. So I'm gonna let him coast, let him coast, let him coast. When I get to here, pick up that left rein, right rein pulls him around, send him back through the square. And I can feel already that he'd kind of like to do something else just a little bit. And so I'm just gonna be nice to him. You know, when you pick up your hand, make it one move, let him go. And really try to discipline yourself to not oversteer, to not pick up on him 3-4 times. Let him go, pick up, look, one move, put your hands back. You know, then through the middle, you can steer him again. One move, put your hands down. One move, put your hands down. Does that make sense? Look up, signal, draw him around, let him go. Now I oversteered there a little bit. This right shoulder wants to drop a little bit, and that's why he doesn't turn as good to the right. He kind of's got his head a little left, and then he drops his belly. So I'm just gonna lift up, make sure he turns good, ride him back through the middle. And it's really that simple at this point. I'm just trying to get some rhythm, because at some point I'd like to be able to go like this and pick that hand up and draw him around and not have to take that inside rein. And I start neck reining on these horses from the first time that I can put my hand down and leave them alone. I'm gonna try really hard to get them to understand that outside rein. So I've got that signal, then I draw his nose around if I need to, leave him alone. And you'll see me go to two-handed and back to one, and to two hands, back to one, a lot, because I think that's the best way to get out of their way. Pick up that outside rein, draw him around. If his feet move good, I'll leave him alone. Now, again there, I feel like he oversteers in that back corner. A little bit in his mind, he's pretty happy to come back toward my gate. Look up, pull him around, let him go. I'm gonna release him at the end of that turn, because that's gonna give him a real good desire to turn. You see, if you just have that one move, you pick up that outside rein, you look, you pull him, you let him go. See, when he finishes that turn, he says, hey, going forward and getting through the turn gets me a good release. So he's gonna get more willing to turn because I've released him. I'm not trying to pull him left and right. I'm not trying to confuse him. I'm doing the same thing every time around, and then I let him move. And you gotta keep that forward motion. So, you know, you can see from a different angle the same kind of idea. I'll kind of ride at you there a little bit, you know, from the opposite side. And I'm gonna try really hard to keep my hand in the middle as much as possible. And even one-handed, I'm gonna start picking up, bringing that horse around. Can he follow that? I don't need him to turn really sharp. You see, I don't need to make it like a barrel turn. I'm not trying to make this horse turn really sharp. I just need to have that rhythm, and he needs to start following my hand. So if he can't follow my hand from that outside rein, you know, we're gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna take that again. He starts to follow my hand. If his nose tips to the outside, I'll reinforce that a little bit with that inside rein. But I'm really just trying to get some good rhythm. I wanna be able to look up, right in the middle of this horse. And when I pick up my hand and move it, I'd like him to come around and start to follow my hand, okay? Now you can see he's getting pretty loose, pretty relaxed. I can start to ride him like this. You know, if I move my hand, he follows pretty good. If I move my hand back to the outside, I can already lift him a little bit, and I'm just getting that signal built in where I put that outside rein against his neck, help him through, really smooth. And you can see if I lift my hand over here, he's gonna go that way. If I lift my hand over here, he already goes that way, and I can start to steer him, and you see how his shape is the same, and he'll get relaxed because I'm not in his face trying to steer his face around. You see, I'm actually steering his shoulders and his front end, and I'm just dialing that neck in a little bit if he gets too bent or if he drops that shoulder. But you see, if I put my hand here, I can pick up, I could already draw him around just that quickly off that outside rein. And that's where, you know, they get to steering really good. And if you stay out of their way and if you don't manhandle their face too much, it makes sense. I can pull on him, you know, I can really draw on him, but then I'm gonna put my hand back down and let him keep moving his feet. You see, I'll move him over a little bit and I'll move him through the middle. And as long as he knows that he's gonna get a release for getting steered and turned, he'll stay loose and flat through that turn. And you don't have to yard and jerk on him. I don't know. Yerk and jard on him. I don't know what I was trying to say. Something. You guys know. Anyways, so I'm just mumbling a little bit. I'm going to pick up that trot. We're going to do that as well, and we'll see if, you know, life falls apart there. So I'm going to pick up that trot. We're going to see what happens there. See if he gets a little busy. I'd like to have the same feeling when I'm done with jogging him around here. I'd like him to be just as mentally quiet and understand his job. So here we go. We'll see if it falls apart. A double cluck. Keep my hands in the middle. I'm going to go two-handed right now just so that I can stay really balanced. Try to keep the same rhythm. Leave them alone through center. I got to keep my own hands in front of me because I don't want to oversteer, right? I'm going to go to here, put my hands back in the middle. Try to get him really steady. Steer a little bit here, leave him alone. He says, I like loping. Leave him alone. Look, pick your hands up. I got about the same feel on both sides of a horse's face. You know, I'm not pulling unevenly on either side of their face. I'm kind of feeling in my fingers, and you'll see, you know, as I steer, you'll see that I kind of just feel those reins in my fingers. And really, it's like fingertip pressure anymore at this point with this colt. I just can feel that in my fingertips, both sides of his face. Draw him around, let him go. You see there, he got a little hollow, his neck kind of comes up. That's just him trying to get his feet around. You know, if I start getting out of his way a little sooner, we'll probably find that that neck kind of settles down. You know, part of them being round and relaxed is also driving out of that circle, or out of that turn, sorry. And you'll see the more we do that, we turn to the right, turn to the right, turn to the right, he'll start to drape down there because he knows if he drives forward and he gets relaxed and he gets soft, I'll leave him alone, you know. And you'll see that neck start to drape out there as he gets realizing I'm not going to jerk on his face. He just has to get his shoulders around when I turn him and then push up and go straight. And this is what I'll do all day long until they get really, really soft and they start to hang their neck there. I'm not going to push his head down. I'm not going to try to make him drag his nose in the ground. I'm just going to tell him he's got to move his feet and go forward and stretch out. And you'll see every time that neck kind of hangs down there a little bit more. And that's just him getting his back up. He's getting balanced. He's starting to understand where he needs to go. He realizes that once he finishes that turn and stretches out, woo, we're gonna hit that cone. He's allowed to go forward. I'm not trying to hold him together. So now I'm talking too much, and you can see I've had to correct him a few times because I'm not paying as much attention as I should be. talking to you guys. It takes a little of my brain power. I don't have a lot of brain power, you know, so guys got to be a little careful. They don't talk to you too much, you know, because you guys take a little bit of my brain power at the same time I'm riding a Colt. Kind of gets to me, you know. See, he's even asking if he can slow down there a little bit. And I probably at this stage, I'm not going to ask that horse to push up through that too much because the rhythm's pretty good. I'm going to let him know that slowing down's good. See, this horse is running bred out of a cow horse mare. So I feel like going fast isn't going to be really a problem for him. And so at this point, if he's offering to slow down and get relaxed and soft, I'm always going to let him have a little bit of that time. I'm going to pick him up again, do this again. So Tynes been like one of the best minded 2-year-olds I've had here in a while. I'm having a lot of fun riding him. And it's kind of funny because I've got a lineup of people that want to try to buy him from me too. So I was thinking, I don't know what you guys think. You talk to me. But maybe we have to do an online auction after we're done riding this horse. What do you guys think? Does that seem like a good idea? I'm all for messing around. I mean, I don't know if I want to sell him. I don't really, you know, really intend to, but I sure got a lot of people kind of falling in love with this horse, and I can't say that that's a hard thing to understand because he's pretty cool. You know, again, he starts to just sort of hang his neck out there. If I drive him a little bit, you see him get a little tight there. We'll just steer him, let him out again, let him ride. And this monotony will take every horse into that good rhythm. You just honestly keep going. Whoa. There you go. So what do you guys think? Tynes come along pretty good. He licks his lips instantly and takes that deep breath. You know, one of those things, if you're training on a horse and he doesn't take a deep breath when you rest him, if he doesn't lick his lips when you rest him, I'm afraid you're not teaching him a lot, or he's not learning a lot. You might be trying to teach him a lot, but I don't know that he's learning a lot. I think those horses that are really quick to lick their lips and take that sigh when they're done, they just really are soaking up what you're giving them. And I think that's a really big thing to watch for. You know, if they get tight-lipped or they start to hold their breath, you know, they're just nervous. You haven't got them soft. You haven't got them mentally relaxed. You probably just got them all freshened up and, you know, a little bit angry with you. And that's something to keep a real good eye on. You know, when you're riding a Colt, make sure that he's willing to take a deep breath when you quit on him. Make sure that he'll lick his lips and kind of think that through a little bit. Otherwise, you know, you might be spending a lot of time learning nothing. So that's kind of where we're at today. I've backed off on loping him around a little bit. I think some balance issues there. I mean, I can lope him circles and I can put my leg on and I can keep him together and I can show you guys and it will look like he's more broke than he really is. But I think there's nothing wrong with taking a few steps back and letting that horse really settle into what they need. We're only a couple weeks into riding this horse too. We got to be careful that we don't expect too much too quickly. And a lot of times when you expect less, it goes better. So I've backed him off a little bit. We're just working on that steering. I'm going to work a little bit to the left here yet before we're done. But you guys get to watch me working to the right. That's typically his stiffer way. To the left, he's a little looser. And here we are at episode 5. So it's been really fun. Maybe I'm joking about this auction deal. Maybe I'm not. I don't really know. You guys tell me. If there's a lineup, I mean, I've got a half a dozen people here in the barn that have tried to buy this horse from me already. And I never really intended to, you know, give him away. But, you know, maybe Tyne's one of them once-in-a-lifetime horses for somebody. And, you know, maybe that's, I don't know. Things just kind of happen as they happen. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted. And have fun with episode 5. I've sure enjoyed riding this one. And I appreciate the comments and all the feedback. So you guys tell me what you think about it so far. Please like, subscribe, you know, comment more. I always talk about that. I like talking to people, so you guys talk to me, all right?